Process safety definition. To prevent or minimize the consequences of catastrophic releases of toxic, reactive, flammable or explosive chemicals that may result in toxic, fire or explosion hazards. Why did OSHA develop PSM? Accidents usually happened during work due to negligence. Some of the highlighted accidents for which OSHA developed PSM. Bhopal, India, 1984. Pasadena, Texas, 1989. Cincinnati, Ohio, 1990. Sterlington, LA, 1991. PSM need a team that has process engineers, operators, safety, maintenance, management, consultants. Every process safety management program should include process safety information, process hazard analysis, operating procedures, pre-start-up safety review, mechanical integrity, incident investigation, etc. Purpose of PSM: preventing or minimizing the consequences of catastrophic releases of toxic, reactive, flammable, or explosive chemicals. There are some elements of PSM method. Element 1. Employee participation. Develop a written participation plan. Consult with employees on PSM development. Provide PSM information access to employees. Element 2. Process safety information. Information used by employees to identify and understand hazards of process equipment and chemicals must be compiled before a hazard analysis. This analysis includes MSDSS, process chemistry, and max intended inventory, P&IDs, safe operating limits, material and energy balances, materials of construction and design codes employed. Element 3. Process hazard analysis. Systematic way to identify potential hazards and recommend possible solutions. Addresses facility siting, human factors, previous incidents, control failures. Develops recommendations. Must revalidate every 5 years, ensure hazards introduced by changes are sufficiently controlled. Element 4. Operating procedures. Written procedures for startup shutdown, normal operations, temporary operations, emergency operations. Must include operating limits and deviations, potential hazards and controls, that is, PPE, safety systems, certified annually. Element 5. Training. Must include process overview, safety and health hazards, procedures emphasizing emergency, safe work practices. Initial training refresher at least every 3 years. Element 6. Contractors. Evaluate contractor safety performance prior to selection. Inform contractor of known hazards related to work being performed and the process. Inform contractor of emergency plan. Implement safe work practices covering work activities. Lockout, tagout, confined space entry, opening process equipment, and facility entry. Periodically evaluate contractor performance on meeting OSHA obligations. Element 7. Pre-startup safety review. Ensures the following prior to startup. Construction is in accordance with design specs. Procedures are in place. Changes have been reviewed for hazard, PHA. Actions from hazard review have been resolved. Employee training is complete. Element 8. Mechanical integrity. Maintenance procedures and training. Inspection testing on process equipment and documentation of test. Frequency and method per good engineering practices, at minimum. Deficiencies corrected before further use. Quality assurance program. Element 9. Work permits. Required fire protection or prevention has been implemented prior to work. Authorized for work. Equipment where hot work is to be performed. Element 10. Management of change. Evaluates hazards of any changes to chemicals, technology, equipment and procedures. Considers the impact on the following: health and safety, process safety information, operating procedures, training in form of employees and contractors, technical basis of the change. Element 11. Incident investigation. Prompt investigation. Involve employees' knowledge in process. Documentation and report. Recommendations and findings. Element 12. Emergency planning response. Employer must have an emergency action plan for entire plant. Must include pre-plan for catastrophe. Train and equip workers. Drills. Element 13. Compliance audits. Employer certification internal evaluation that they comply with ISO standards.